Hey guys, I am Wes. This is Dayon. We just got finished filming, actually in my backyard. We filmed a music video for his new single called Free. And leading up to it, Dayon and I were talking, or leading up to today, Dayon and I were talking, and we were saying like, hey, what if we sat down afterwards and just had a conversation? So we're gonna have a conversation. Dayon's song Free, what really kind of sparked a lot for me, and being like, dude, I want to talk to you. Tell me about the line talking about the 19th of June.
Well, yeah, in the record, I referenced, I'm trying to be freed and a slave in June on the 19th day. And Juneteenth was the day slaves were officially set free. So I just felt that it was proper to like throw that in there, just with like the times that we're going through right now. And I feel like it's important for, people of color and African Americans to never lose sight of, our history. I feel like a lot of the times, and like, you look at our education. I mean, mine and yours for sure. Like everyone's education is like we all were taught American history, but we all never. I feel like Juneteenth may be referenced in some of our history books, but it's never really touched on. So, I felt like that was really important to like put into the record.
Yeah. So for us, this is the last time I'm gonna talk to you, and then we're gonna talk to each other. But for us, in reference, we are currently recording this in Virginia. I was born and raised in Virginia, in a place called Fredericksburg, halfway between Richmond and DC, if y'all know where that is. But and then for Dayon, like where is your background?
So I was born in Washington D.C. I was raised in Prince George's County, and then for like my 8th grade through 12th grade years, I lived in Waldorf, Maryland. So Waldorf's interesting. It's like one of those places where everyone started moving once DC got gentrified. So everybody started like moving into suburbia. So it was interesting because like I guess that's southern, even more southern Maryland, like La Plata and all that stuff. There's it's like a primarily like white population, and then you had people moving from DCPG. So like we all kind of met in Waldorf. So yeah, I was able, and it honestly was a blessing because like I was able to get experience from like DCPG, and then like move up, and then like I have friends that are like southern, like St. Mary's, like La Plata, like it all kind of mashed together. So like I got experiences of like PG, which is like the most wealthy Black community in the United States, and then you get experience from like La Plata, which is like La Plata, and just even more southern Maryland, which is like primarily like white. But some of my best friends like I met through living in Waldorf, so it's a cool place.
That's cool, dude. I think so something that you were talking about, like I want to kind of dig in on it already. So living in Fredericksburg, I'm living. Now I live in this is Woodford, so we're in Caroline County, so we went more rural. I mean, Fredericksburg's not, but we got fields out back, and we just filmed in the field and all that stuff. But like, gentrification is not something that I've ever had to experience. It's not something that, to my knowledge, unless someone else knows in our area, I've never seen gentrification. And it's not even that I might not have seen it, it's that I might not have realized that what was happening could possibly be harmful or could possibly be something that was negative. Because like sometimes, I do know what gentrification is, but I believe that there's probably a lot of people that don't. And I think that I know what gentrification is because I have hung out with you, or had other friends in the DC or the metro areas. I mean, I lived in New York for a bit, like as an adult. I lived in Yonkers.
Wow. Okay. So, got you. Super New York.
When I graduated high school, I had an opportunity to move to New York to work for a company, and I did that. And I only lived there for 6 months. I had a real heart check of like what I was doing. I met God while I was up there, so I was like, whoa, I really kind of shouldn't do this. And I moved back home. But yeah, I lived in Yonkers for a bit. I lived in Yonkers and I worked in Mamaroneck, so I didn't spend a lot of time like in the real city.
Got you. Okay.
But I've spent a lot of time in like Westchester County.
Got you.
But like I said, 6 months. So, but so I know what gentrification is, but I feel like even for like my like people who I know and love, like family, if I talked about gentrification and what could be not as beautiful, quote unquote, about it, what did you experience?
So, it's gentrification is one of those things. It's like you said, it looks pretty on the outside because it's like developers are coming in with money and essentially buying Black people out of these places. Like, DC historically was Chocolate City. And it's just a really Black city. And
with really rich culture,
extremely rich culture,
beautifully rich culture.
It's amazing, bro. And I mean, it's crazy too, because it's like through all of this, DC has still stayed strong. The Black community in DC has still stood strong, and there's still these exhibitions like the Don't Mute DC kind of protest. Because I mean, if you all aren't familiar with that, what it is go-go music and street performing has historically been a part of DC. So like, you have people of other
brands and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like it's sewn in our DNA. It's sewn into who I am as a person. Like, I grew up in go-go's. Like, I was at go-go's at 2 or 3 years old with my dad, and like, I don't know why I was there or how I even got in there or how they let a baby into a go-go, but I was there, and it's just
it was culture.
It's culture.
Go-go, like a go-go might be thought of as a club, but it's deeper than that.
It's deeper than that. It's I mean, it is a club, but at the same time, it's like, it's where we go to like let loose. It's where we go to express ourselves. It's where like you get different people from different places going in to like put on where they're from. It's just like, it's one of those things.
Like neighborhood representation.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. So it's like, all this goes to say, like, developers and people that have moved in our communities that know nothing about our communities, they come in and then it's like, oh, why are you guys street performing? Like, I'm trying to sleep. It's like, that doesn't happen here. This is what we've built. This is our city. This is our DNA. Right. So, they've tried to like stop street performing and stuff like that. But all this goes to say, the positive is like, you have these big exhibitions with thousands and thousands of people like going in the streets playing go-go music, doing these types of things, and I just think that's awesome. But overall, gentrification is essentially when like big business and developers come in, they buy Black people out of their homes, and they raise the market price up. They boost it up. It looks good. A lot of it looks good, but it leaves families homeless. It leaves families with nowhere to go. And through all of this, at a time where I was moving to Waldorf, we were already in PG County, and we ended up moving to Waldorf. You started seeing more guys from DC coming to Waldorf schools. So like, I had a bunch of guys in my school that were like from DC. I had guys that were still living in DC and driving out to Waldorf to go to school. So it's like, you see the effects of it. It's pushing people out, just out of the city in general. And like you said, it looks good. I love the fact that DC's being developed more, but I just feel like overall there should be some type of help and assistance for people and just families that were like affected by gentrification overall. So. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. I was just looking to see what our audio levels was looking like. Okay. We have a camera with like the thing facing us to make sure we're still recording. So with your experience in all of that, like with living in DC and stuff, and like we're from different spots, different things. The world is crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
But so like, honestly, I was strongly encouraged to make people aware of this, and I think it's wise. I don't know anything about, or I don't know everything. I don't know a lot of things. I don't know details. I don't know cultures. I don't know whatever. And I think the important thing is, for anyone who decides to watch this, I just want to have a conversation. I have been at a place in my life where I didn't know that the rebel flag on my wall was offensive. I've been at a place in my life where I thought it was acceptable to be very against a presidential candidate because of the color of their skin. And that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not who God's called me to be. And conversations like this, I feel like they're not for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not for Dayon. I mean, maybe Dayon likes it too. But like, there's someone who hopefully sees this, that you might hear some things you've never heard before. Mm-hmm. And for me, I want to have convos with Dayon and with other people that just go into places you might not have thought of. So I don't know everything. And my only goal in these conversations is for Jesus to shine through.
Absolutely.
So anyways, so two things. One,
mm-hmm.
The world is ridiculous right now.
Yes.
Second thing, this ain't new.
No,
it's not new.
It's amazing to me, especially right now. And for reference, we're filming at a time where George Floyd was recently killed by police, and there's mass protests happening right now. It's not new, and it's one of those things, unfortunately, where it's resulted to violence, and it's resulted to absolute chaos. And
right.
Historically, I mean, even past Black people as a whole, and if you go back as far as you like, revolution always happens when there are people take things to the extreme, and because I feel like as Black people we've tried to you look at it historically, we built Black Wall Street. It was burned down. Mm-hmm. We've
I just learned about that the other day, actually, like literally.
Yeah.
I literally learned about it probably 3 nights ago. Mm-hmm. I had someone on Twitter. You might have retweeted it for real. Mm-hmm. It might have been the tweet that you retweeted about Black Wall Street, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. And I Googled it, and like instantly everything was like the most violent, like most violent, like, I mean, it was compared to like obviously I know the word Holocaust is very revered for how many people were killed at once, mm-hmm. etc. But like Black Wall Street, like, was a massive thing for the African American community. Yep. And the moment it got to be, and this was that in Kentucky, or is it?
I'm to be honest with you, I have no clue.
Look, Google Black Wall Street. Anyways, regardless of the location, it got to be powerful. It got to be noticed. It was self-sufficient. It was. I think they said it was like 16 square blocks or 32 square blocks, something like that.
It was huge, and at its
what happened to it?
At its pinnacle, it was burned down. You know,
it was bombed.
Yeah, like military style.
A militia.
Bombing.
Militia went in and leveled it.
Yep,
leveled it.
And it's like we've tried. I feel like as a people we've tried to do things the right way per se. You know, we've tried to build infrastructure. We've tried to just have a fighting chance at normality and being respected and treated as an equal with somebody that has a different color skin than us. That's literally, and that's the craziest thing to me. It's like at the base of all of our issues is literally somebody at some point in time said, your skin is a different color than mine. You're worth less than me. That's insane to even think about.
It doesn't even make any sense either, because like, I don't know. I mean, obviously we weren't there. History books don't paint perfect mm-hmm. images, but like there was a point, and this is crazy too. I mean, there's like, honestly, like people have enslaved every color, like,
absolutely,
literally. But there was, like, and that's not an excuse at all. But there was some point where someone left Europe or left, Eurasia, like whatever happened, mm-hmm. traveled across into Africa mm-hmm. and said, I'm stronger than you. Maybe it was firearms going into whatever, or like, I don't know, maybe someone can help me figure that out, but like.
That was a part of it.
Like, and there was either a kidnapping, a sale exchange, or whatever, mm-hmm. and it started a perpetual slave trade mm-hmm. across the Atlantic. Mm-hmm. Or across the, like wherever started those things. And like, that's it. That's all she wrote.
And that's all she wrote.
Because like even flat like so my dad went to school at my dad, his sister, his brother, they grew up in Alexandria. Alexandria, Arlington, wherever TC Williams High School is. So like
it's like Alexandria. Yeah.
So you've seen like Remember the Titans.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So like my aunt was there. Like that was like her freshman year and my uncle's senior year. Like at TC Williams. Like when that was taking place. Mm-hmm. So like dad lived in the neighborhood. Like saw all that stuff. And like, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Which, connect the dots, that means your dad.
Yes.
Was on the other end.
Yep. 100%. I mean, bro, I talk to my grandma all the time about how she's been hosed, how she's been just discriminated against, how she had to drink from, like just stuff like and not, the craziest thing is, it's not so far removed. Like,
no, like even like just my dad was fine.
Yeah,
your dad.
That's one generation.
Yeah, I'm what is it? I'm 27 years old.
Right, I'm about to turn 26. So, you got it. Like it's just
my dad's 55, something like that. 54.
I think my dad might be 54 as well.
Okay, so grandma's still alive.
Grandma's still alive.
Okay, and my grandma's still alive. And the thing is like, man, okay, so my dad's mom, before she passed away, so I started doing stuff in hip hop when I was in high school. It was like 2010, 2011 when I really started doing like photo video stuff just in hip hop. And my buddies, like it grew immensely. I became great friends with people who didn't have like solid family structures. And even though every family's rocky, whatever, my family was solid enough for them to come over and stay and feel welcome and feel loved and all that. And here comes like engrafted like 8 brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just my brothers. But what's crazy is my grandma was moving and, or she was moving her stuff from upstairs to downstairs because she was like on hospice. And I brought 2 of my friends over to help me move the bed. And my grandma literally said there, she was like, I've never had a black man in my house.
Damn.
And this was 2011. But it's crazy.
It's crazy to think about.
It's crazy, but like at the same time, like Pastor Jimmy, who's this awesome guy. If you guys don't know I-5 Church, Pastor Jimmy Rollins, he's freaking sick. He's up in Baltimore. Okay. But he was telling a story one time about how his grandma kind of said the same thing to him when she was older. It was like, Jimmy, I've never touched. I think it was I've never touched a white man or something like that. Like it was her hospice nurse.
There's some places in our country right now where people have never seen a black person in person. That like in our country that we live in right now. So it's like it's amazing to think. It's amazing to think, but there's a certain ignorance that comes with it. You know what I mean? There's a certain like level of non-understanding that people don't get. And I feel like, I mean, just the other day, I have, like I said, some of my closest friends are white. And like just the other day, one of my friends had made a comment in our group chat and I just had to take the time to explain to him exactly what I was trying to get across.
So like, what was it?
So he would...
Because it matters.
It does. So he spoke about, there was a video from this guy online and he was referencing like frat boys, but like making fun of them. And it's a black dude doing it. So of course, everybody in the group chat's dying laughing.
I know who you're talking about. I saw that.
Drewski? His name's Drewski. Yeah. So everybody thinks it's hilarious and we're all laughing. And
there's one like around the pool and he was like, I'm about to do the shot.
Yeah.
I saw that. Hilarious. He does stuff like people in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah.
He just picks every people group.
Yeah.
He just mimics them.
Everybody. He does it with black people. He does it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny across the board. I love it. And like, we need that stuff. So I put that in the group chat, and then I get it's a text back in there, and it's like, imagine if I did that about black people. And I was like, all right. First and foremost, like, it's not that deep. Like, he's talking about frat boys, and I know black frat boys that act the exact same way. So it's not a color thing. But since you took it there, Cool. So we ended up getting on a conversation, and he was just like, yeah, like that's racist. I was like, Black people, and I'm glad we're doing this on this platform. Black people cannot be racist. Black people can be prejudiced, right? So racism is based off the ideology that my skin complexion makes me superior, and whether that be systematic, whether that be through antagonism, and whether that be through prejudice, all those things make up racism, and that's what makes racism a system, right?
Yeah.
So me being the oppressed, me being the minority, I cannot be racist because I'm not the stakeholder of the system.
All right, so tell me this. Hold on, pause real quick.
Okay.
You don't, because not only is it like, I mean, please, with all sensitivities, not only is it that in society right now it is impossible for you to be seen as the superior. Do you even want that?
No,
What do you want? What do you want?
Equality. That's it. That's the scariest. That's the craziest thing.
So hold on, real quick before I keep moving forward.
Okay.
So boil this down. You can't be racist because racism identifies superiority.
Superiority.
Do you want to be superior?
We want to be equal.
Want to be equal.
We at no point have you ever heard a Black person say we want to reign over all. We want to reign over all ethnicities, all types, all genders, anything. We've never said that. We just say we want to walk down the street, and I want Dayon and I want Wesley to be looked at the exact same way. That's it. It's never been superiority. It's never been, because that's not us as a people. Black people as a people are a loving people, but as you continue to become if you oppress anything,
I think that people as a people have full potential to be loving people.
100%.
So Lindsay and I, my wife Lindsay, so Lindsay and I, we've had very, like, just these conversations again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And we're on the same page. Like, but she's like, Wesley, what you have to realize is, like, we're living in a fallen world. Mm-hmm. It is not the fact. It is like our sole concern, our sole worry right now in the world. It's not just racism. Yeah. How about all the foster children who, like, the foster system is written for the parents. It is not written for the safety of the child.
Right.
It is written for the safety of the parents. Mm-hmm. Or abortions. I can totally get onto this a different time, but there is a major abortion company, okay, called Planned Parenthood, who was founded by a woman, mm-hmm. and her whole mission was eugenics.
Okay. Wow.
Okay? Mm-hmm. You know what that is?
Yeah.
If you don't, that is killing Black people. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So get this. The company I work for in New York, we did an investigation one time, right? Mm-hmm. He literally called in and got people at Planned Parenthood to say yes, they would accept specific donations to put aside in a bucket to just kill Black babies.
That's insane.
So our systems, mm-hmm. whether you're talking about justice, you're talking about foster care, you're talking mm-hmm. about abortion, you're talking about whatever, there are always something it was made for. Absolutely. But the thing is oftentimes the end user wants that system to be made for them. Absolutely. And what's crazy is what we're working from. Like I said, there's probably a lot of things I'm saying right now that you don't agree with or could be completely off. Please educate me. Right. I would love to be educated on things I'm talking about better. But, like, you think about it this way, like, it wasn't until the past few years for me that I even saw police, not just police officers, but like police forces or like sheriff's officers, mm-hmm. whatever, talk about how they're first responders, talk about how it's their mission to serve and protect. I feel like that's been like a more, and the thing is like, I have, and this is, I mean, you probably have a very different experience, mm-hmm. and I accept it. I have not had a bad experience with a police officer. I've in fact had police officers pull me over because I'm driving too fast, drinking Nas energy drinks, mm-hmm. and like have too much Nas today, huh? Like joking with me, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
So personally, it's crazy to me. My parents, I'm blessed. My parents were able to. My dad, shout out to my stepdad and my mom. I mean, and even my father. Like, they've all made it their life mission to make sure that myself and my little sister and my grandma were all good. So we live in a really nice neighborhood in Waldorf, like one of the nicest neighborhoods in the area, right? Mm-hmm. So it's one night I'm going to a friend's house that lives 3 neighborhoods down from me. I'm in my grandmother's Honda Civic. I pull literally right out of my neighborhood. Pull out my neighborhood. I'm driving. I get pulled over. Right? The cop is black. I'm just like, hey, what's going on, officer? How you doing tonight? All right. I need to see your license and registration, please. I'm just like, sir, I literally just pulled out of my neighborhood. I used my signal. Tags aren't bad. Lights are all good. What's the problem, sir? Oh, we had a car around. We had a call about a car, and you fit the description of. I'm just and this is what kills me. One, that it was a black cop. Secondly, it just additionally shows that it's not the person, it's the system. It is the overall system that has been put in place to say, hey, if you see somebody even close to whatever, if it's a black male driving a car, pull them over. If it's and I've seen it happen all too many times, bro. Like I've seen cops in inner cities provoke people and push them and degrade them and talk to them like they're beneath them in the dirt of the earth, and they provoke people, and then when they get a response, that's what they want. You know what I mean? That's the system that has been set up to place people that look like me into jails. I mean, because that's a whole different story. Like, we can get into the private jailing system and how much money they make off of that stuff, and how putting people in jail puts these, you know what I'm saying? They want quotas. They need a certain amount of bodies in there, so they make a certain amount of money. So it's unfortunate, man. And do I believe there are good-hearted policemen out there? Absolutely. I know some. Like, I have friends that are police. Yeah, me too. But it's not. It become, you have to look at it from a higher scope than that. Yeah. Because it's not everybody's going to get the same experience with the police every single time. It's the overall system. Right.
Right. And that's kind of where I was leading to when I was talking about the eugenics and all those different things, is like, or not what I'm just talking about eugenics, but like was the fact that like the serve and protect. Mm-hmm. Gosh, that if that is the intent, I wish it was the culture. Does that make sense?
100%.
So like, if the intent is to serve and protect, I wish that was the culture. Now I'm telling you right now, you and I both. Well, this might not be true for you. If something hits the fan, there is 3 digits I'm calling.
Yo, 100%.
I'm gonna call
100%. Yeah, I'm not going to call the police.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like at the same time, like the serve and protect, like initially though, it was to enforce and uphold.
Yeah, and
enforce the laws,
mm-hmm.
uphold and uphold whatever it is. And if you think about that, enforce and uphold, I mean, there's some laws that have been around for a long time.
There are, and there's a lot of them that need to be corrected.
And if our daddies,
mm-hmm.
50 years ago,
mm-hmm.
were getting hurt, you know what I'm saying? My daddy wasn't, but mm-hmm. like, you know what I'm saying? Well, actually, like, let's flip that. Like 50 years ago, there wasn't laws to, like I said, talking about protecting children even.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad was in some abusive households mm-hmm. with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like with stepfathers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And like there was no one looking out for him. And then like with your dad, like growing up in the midst of segregation when it was ending, you know what I'm saying?
Ending, right.
There's a place in downtown Fredericksburg that one of my buddies told me they were refused service as recent as like the early 2000s.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I went to college in West Virginia.
Oh man.
Yeah, I went to Shepherd University in West Virginia, and there's a town right across. Shepherd's on the borderline of
That's
West
where you
Virginia.
play soccer?
Yeah, that's where I play soccer. Yep.
Yeah.
So Shepherd's on the borderline of West Virginia and Maryland, and there's a town that our coaches had told us is literally right across the bridge from West Virginia to Maryland. They say if you go there, make sure you wear something Shepherd based, because if you don't, you may have trouble. And in today's age, like you would hope and pray that people would be past that, but that's just not the case. And I also wanted to say one more thing too. In addition to talking about the police, it's crazy.
Because you're only 3 years out of college. Yeah.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
2.5, 3.
Probably more like 4. I'll end up leaving Shepherd, but
okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, still that means 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Don't go over there. There might be trouble for you.
Yes, 100%.
Which I would say is probably still 2020.
Yeah. Oh, 100. I wouldn't go to that town today. Like when I drive to Shepherd to go see games and stuff like that, I drive right through that town. Don't stop nowhere. And that's sad. It's sad I have to do that. Yeah. But in regards to the police, it's interesting because like me and you might have different experiences, but I know the majority of my African American friends, when we drive and we see the police, we should feel protected, right? We should see the police car and we be like, man, I know for a such and such mile radius, I'm safe. But rather than feeling that way, we get anxiety. Even if I cannot be doing anything. Like, I mean, most times I'm not doing anything. Like I'm just driving. You know, I have my seatbelt on, my tags are good, but it's just still some type of angst and anxiety I get when I see a police car. And I feel like that's a part of the issue right there, man. There's no reason at any point in time should I ever feel angst or anxiety when I'm around somebody or something that's supposed to be set up to protect me. And it's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate, but it's like I said, it's a system that's been set up, and the system has to fall. Yeah. And I feel like where we're at today, I feel like Black people as a whole, I mean, even just us having this conversation, I'm really appreciative of, because Steven Jackson, a former NBA player, said this the other day. He said, like, to my white, that's my guy, man. He said to my white brothers, like, I love you to death, but at this time, if you're not beside me, you're against me. Yeah. And that's, I feel like that's all Black people.
I think what's hard about that, because I completely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
I have found freedom in my life from being afraid to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I have deep personal relationships with you, or with Kevin, or with Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't met Kyle before. He's my best friend. Like, we've been best friends since we were 7. Mm-hmm. He gave me this awesome scar on my forehead. You know what I'm saying? But and the list goes on. I mean, you know, Chappelle era, Amori, you got Curtis and Pharma, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just literally just keep on rolling. You know what I'm saying? And then when I hear these things, it's not that my first reaction isn't even that I get sad because we look different. Mm-hmm. I just love you so much.
And it's mutual.
And like, I get scared when Kevin wants to go speak out about stuff. Mm-hmm. I have been with my friends when they've been called the only name that starts fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, I have that such a deep like relationship that, like, it's not just that someone's different than me. It's like, these are my brothers. Like, you were joking earlier. Yeah, you were joking earlier. Like, why don't I turn my face lock on for my phone?
We look just like.
But like, for real, like, I have that experience. So like, when Stack says that, or when anyone says that, like, I get that. But like, for people like my wife, very introverted. Mm-hmm. She won't tell you if you probably won't tell you if you hurt her feelings. Mm-hmm. If there's some people in this world that aren't willing to stand up for themselves,
right,
and if you're not willing to stand up for yourself, which is, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's perfectly fine.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's even harder to stand up for somebody else.
Right.
And I think that what's important is, like, bro, just like there's not a single person in this world, unless they've done some cosmetic surgery, that has ever chosen the color of their skin.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I have so much sympathy. I can never have empathy. I can't. That's where sympathy and empathy like separate. Where Dayon can empathize because Dayon is black.
Yeah, I'm in it. Right.
You have shared features, shared experiences. You can empathize. I can only sympathize. I've never been there.
Right.
I can sympathize for my wife giving birth without pain medication. I can't empathize. I've never pushed nothing out of me. You know what I'm saying? So I completely understand the heart of what Stack said, or what anyone says in this time of like, if you're not, like, I've seen tons of my friends that are like, you know, thanking me for saying something, and it's like, yo, I've got freedom from this. Like, I'm ready. My boss has told me it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay.
Right.
I am, and even if my boss didn't, like, to be honest, with all love, I'm so secure in what Jesus has called me to be, that these things are very important to me.
And that's
but for people who aren't, they didn't choose to be white.
Right.
You didn't choose to be black. Foodie didn't choose to be Asian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I think that's what's hard is like, you're like on the spot. You're expecting everybody just to have a voice.
Right.
And some people can't even
voice for themselves.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm glad you said that, because there's workarounds to that.
Tell me about it.
Even if there's things that we can do, like, all right, let me put it like this. On a basketball team, you look at the 96 Bulls, right? Okay. So you got Jordan. Jordan is your guy. Jordan's going to go out. He's going to score your points. He's going to lock whoever's the best person on that other team. 9 times out of 10, Jordan's going to lock him up. You got Scotty. Scotty's Jordan's right-hand man. You know what I'm saying? If Jordan can't pull out some points, Scotty going to pull him out for y'all. Yeah. Dennis is going to clean up on the boards. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got Steve Kerr going to come out. He's going to knock down some shots if need be. Like, everybody has their position to play. So even if you're not an extreme extrovert, you can still do things like, I saw somebody say this the other day. I can literally from my phone, I can donate to a charitable organization that's doing great things in the Black community. What does that take from your end? That takes a little bit of effort to just say, hey, let me go on Google and find out how I can help. If you're an extrovert, but you might not want to be in the middle of protesting. All right, let me just bring out some waters for some of these people. Let me pass out some waters. There's so many things we can do as a whole to help overall. I definitely agree with what you're saying, though. I don't expect every single, because there's Black people that might not be protesting right now, but there's a lot that may go into that. But at the same time, I feel like we all can do our part to push things forward rather than, just simple stuff. Like I have a friend, shout out to Meredith Etridge. She's like a fire photographer, but just yesterday, she's a white woman, and she was like, look, I'm challenging all my white friends to donate at least $25 to the NAACP in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Because they're offering aid to protest. So like just small stuff like that makes the world of a difference. You don't have, there's going to be white people and people of other race and denominations that are going to go out on the front lines and help. And I appreciate that. Your white people as a whole have a privilege. Whether people want to admit that or not, there's a privilege. And exercising your privilege to help.
Born with naturally. Not a choice, not a want, whatever, but like, and it's not there, and like,
it's not your fault.
No,
it's not your fault.
And like, for real, like anyone watching this, like we can argue against anything. I didn't choose to be white. Dayon didn't choose to be Black. I didn't choose to have privilege. He didn't choose to not be born with that same privilege. And the thing is it's not at all something to be ashamed of, feel like you're supposed to say sorry for. It's just being aware.
Absolutely.
Awareness.
It's awareness. And that's like what you asked me earlier. It's like, do Black people want to be superior? No, we don't. We just want to be equal.
I knew that answer, by the way.
It's a loaded question.
Cool.
But it's like, we just want to be equal, and having the awareness to say, hey, all they want is the same things that we're afforded.
Yeah, bro.
That's I mean, that's literally it. And like at the base of it, it's a really simple solution. Unfortunately, there's like, if you think about racism as a tree, there's so many roots and things of that nature that have over time just strengthened in the ground. And we as a people, as a whole, and not just as one color or race, we all have to fight to end that, to dig out those roots and plant fresh seeds.
Come on, bro.
Plant the seeds that's going to take us. And I don't want my kids to grow up in a world where they even have to semi-experience racism. We have to. Our generation, our grandparents and great grandparents have fought for us to get here, and fought for. I mean, and mind you, through the civil rights movements, I also want to let people know this. There were white people that have helped, that have money and just being on the front lines have helped push that. We all, it's not, Black people just can't do it on their own. We need white people. We need Asian people.
Community.
It's community.
The whole community.
It's community, and it's deeper than our color. It's deeper than just, it's deeper than what we've been given. It's deeper than the situation at hand. But we all deserve the power. We all have the power. And this is one thing that I've just been preaching to myself lately. God will never equip us. God would never place us in a situation that we're not equipped for. So everything that's going on in the world right now, we are equipped. You have to say it in your head. You have to say it out loud. I'm equipped. I'm equipped to deal with this. I'm equipped to because just with my friend the other day, I could have got pissed. It made me mad initially because he's my friend and you've known me for a while. But I took a step back and said, I can either sit and be mad, or I can sit and educate and push forward. So now that he understands that, he's not going to be ignorant to that fact and pass that down to his kids, who will be my nieces and nephews. I want my nieces and nephews, white or Black, to understand where we've come from and how to continue to push forward. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all we can do, bro, is just continue to I mean, even at the base of it, even on my shirt, my shirt says love is the answer, and love is the answer. It's you have to love yourself enough and love other people enough to say, hey, you all deserve to be loved and be equal in the same regard that I am. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. I think that's good. I think that man. And I'd say that, right now, like, Minneapolis is burning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is. It's burning. Atlanta's burning. There's all kinds of crazy things happening. Those buildings are going to stop burning.
Mm-hmm.
And when they stop burning, this issue isn't going to end.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the same exact place, last summer.
Yep.
And the summer before.
Yep.
Like, it's cyclical. I don't know why it's cyclical, but it is. And, actually, I do know why it's cyclical. It's cyclical because we live in a fallen world.
Yep.
Like, for real, like, we are in a place inhabited by sin.
100%.
And the thing is like, this is the truth is for some of you might not know Jesus. For some of you might, believe in Allah, whatever you believe in. There is a great difference between this world and where you believe that you are going. Personally, I believe in Jesus. I believe he's my Lord and Savior, and I can't wait to meet him someday. But like, the world that we live in is freaking broken.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that.
Yeah.
And like, with that, like, what we have to realize is even the people, someone somewhere in these different occurrences, like with Floyd, like with Big Floyd, there was 4 police officers in that situation. You can't tell me that at least one of them didn't go to church on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
There was memes or a TikTok that circulated of 2 white boys. One of them was on the other one's neck, like kind of like
mocking the situation.
the George Floyd. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you about that situation because it's going to lead to what point I'm trying to make. Those boys went to a private Christian school.
Yep.
They went to a private Christian school. They know Jesus. They know what Jesus stands for, speaks for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether they were there for good education or they're there because their parents absolutely love Jesus and have a relationship with them. The thing is in every place that you have any kind of experience, any kind of privilege, any kind of whatever, to even understand the difference between good and evil, you still have free will.
Yep.
And the thing is what I would encourage people to do is in conversation with friends, you know how to turn that conversation, or you should know what a good convo and what an evil convo looks like. And the thing is your tongue is the strongest muscle in your body.
Yep.
It's the strongest muscle. In fact, in the Bible, in James 3, it compares your tongue to a bit, which is the little piece of equipment that steers a horse, the rudder, which is a small piece of equipment that steers either a cruise ship or a sailboat or a battleship, any kind of boat, and a spark. And we all know the spark, if you remember last summer, small sparks devastated the west coast of America with flames.
Yep.
And the thing is your tongue has the ability to completely control any situation.
Yep.
If you find yourself in something stupid, just think about what you're saying. Think about how you can help. If you come up with someone and there's some crazy things happening with a police officer, if you find yourself in the midst of something crazy happening, just know that your tongue.
Use your voice, man. You have to.
But the kindness too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the thing is, I saw something yesterday where a dude was like, I saw him physically getting shoved by the police. But his words, this is what's unfortunate, is because when you got shoved, like if someone were to shove you, the person who has shoved you is already blind to where they should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're already past that.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at them screaming, suck my, kiss my, all those different things, you're gonna lose them even more.
Yeah. It's first and foremost, I agree with you 100%. It's unfortunate that it's led to that. I just think people are hurt. You know what I mean? People have we've been through this. You know what I mean? And that's the unfortunate part about all of this. And like I said earlier, it's like we've done the peaceful protest. We've done all of these things, and now people are hurt and they don't know how to express it properly, which is unfortunate. And to even in me saying that, I can't tell you how to feel, because even in two Black people, like I've lived a different life than some of my friends. Like I've had people that have grown up in Section 8, that have, mothers and fathers have been separated, that have been raped, have been shot, have been stabbed, all types of stuff. So even my experience is different than yours. So in these moments, it's hard for me to even tell people how to feel, because as a person, as a Black person, and as a Black people, we're hurt. You know what I'm saying? We're upset, we're angry, we're mad, and it's all these like array of emotions just coming together in one place. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I can't tell somebody not to be mad. I can't tell somebody that throwing something or looting is wrong. Like, because it's crazy. As crazy as it is, it's like, I feel like had there been peaceful George Floyd protests, I feel like those officers would have gotten off clean. I feel like, even now with them burning down Targets and looting out of these stores and bringing attention to the situation, which is all I can't even call it rioting, because when people say rioting is a situation where there's just a loss of control for no real reason. These are protests. So people looting out of a corporate store is a protest saying, hey, until you all pay attention to this is what will happen. These are the things that will happen. And I feel like it's happened. But even with the charges, they gave the guy third-degree murder, which is something that is not. First degree is like, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, first degree is preconceived. Second degree is not preconceived, but there was intent to kill. And then third degree is no intent to kill, but you killed the person. Like if I hit somebody with a car or something like that, and I didn't quite mean to do it. That man had his knee in George Floyd's neck. George Floyd said multiple times, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. They're trying to kill me. There's other people around him. There was a guy, a witness that did jujitsu, and he's like really into jujitsu, and he was talking about it. He was like, I saw that. Like from me doing holds on people, I knew that he was depriving that man of air. So as a people, I feel like as a people, Black people are hurt, Black people are upset, and it's unfortunate that it's gotten here. But as I said earlier, no revolution has happened without this. My grandmother's been hosed. You know what I mean? My grandmother's been hosed. My grandmother had to drink from a different water fountain than somebody else. My grandma's been there. White men have made nasty remarks to her before, and even through all of that, I still feel like Black people as a whole, we've kept things graceful, and we have to fight for the right to vote. We have to fight for these little small things, and we've gotten it. And to this day, we're still not getting the respect. So I feel like now it's another one of those times where it has to be a new revolution. It has to be everybody banding together, like we said. I mean, in whites, Blacks, Hispanic, Asian, like everybody has to band together, because it's never going to change if we don't. It's never, and that's just the honest to God truth. If we don't all band together, it's never going to change. Black people we can't do it on our own. You know, so it's an unfortunate time, but I feel like I said, like I was talking about being equipped. God wouldn't give us as a people. I feel like we as a Black people are extremely strong, but I feel like with the help of every ethnicity, with the help of everyone, it's a battle we can't lose. We may not realize it. We outnumber the system. We outnumber it. It's whether or not you choose to free yourself mentally from saying, hey, this is what I've been. I mean, and if you're white and watching this, it's your choice. It's literally your choice to say, hey, I'm going to try to see it from this point of view. I'm going to step out of what I've been fed my entire life. Because here's the thing, Ezra doesn't come out the womb and say, hey, I don't like Black people. It's taught. These things are taught.
Yeah, it's definitely not in nature.
It's not in our nature. We're like you said, we're loving. As humans, when we come out of the mother's womb, we're loving. So it's something that's learned, and it's up to us to continue to teach and outreach and just help build upon these things. Like we said, if standing out on the front lines of something isn't in your DNA, and that's just not who you are, perfectly fine. Find something that you can do in your comfort zone to help. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Which is so important. But end of the day, like I said, man, I'm blessed to have people like you, have people like my friends, and even through my friends' comment the other day, like right after I, you know what I'm saying, we had our back and forth, and he ended up saying, like, you know, you're right, and I was misinformed, and I appreciate you for letting me know that. It's all out of love. It's all out of love at the end of the day, because I just, like I said, you're one of my best friends. The girl you're marrying is another white woman, so you're going to have white kids, and I want my nieces and nephews, which are your kids, to grow up and not look at my kids differently. I want them to feel equal. I want them to both feel like they have the same shot in this world, no matter what. And like I said, that's all Black people are asking for. That's all I want. And I have the utmost faith. You know, like, this is me getting into more of my faith. I have the utmost faith that God is working in it, and like we said, we're all equipped to help change. We're all equipped for this. We're all equipped for it. It's just It's making the choice. Like you said, we have that free will. God designs, but we have free will. So it's up to us to say, hey, I can help change. In what way? Everybody's way might be different, but I can help change. Even if it's as small as I have friends that they're, you know, white friends whose parents have been misguided and misinformed. And even if the smallest thing, like saying, hey, mom or dad, this is wrong and this is why. You've changed that. And that can be, like you said, that's the spark. That's the spark that leads from your parents to their friends, to their friends, to their grandparents. To
absolutely.
We can change the world.
Conversation.
That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is, bro. That's literally all it is. And we're so powerful as humans. I think sometimes we don't realize how powerful we are. As humans, we're so powerful, and we can change the world. We can do it. I have the utmost faith that we can do it. We just have to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it, bro. But I'm excited. These are crazy times that we're living in. And it's so funny. I was talking to some friends and I was like, damn, I almost forgot that we're in a global pandemic. Like with all the George Floyd stuff and the protests that are going, I almost forget about that. And it's like, we're all equipped for this though. God wouldn't give us this if we couldn't handle it. We can handle it. It's about how we handle it, and it's about coming together. Because we can either let this tear us apart, or we can let this bring us together. And it's up to us. It's our choice. It's our free will. So, yeah, man.
That's cool. Well, it's been a long talk, but a good one. And we could go on for
Most
a lot more time. Siri. We could go on for a lot more, but hopefully for some of you this entered into some conversation or sparked something for you. Like Dayon said, I found that just talking about it, just having a conversation has been really helpful, even for my immediate family, like talking with my dad. It's been really good. And I hope that this has been good for you. If any of you want to have a conversation, I don't know everything. I won't pretend.
Neither do I.
I won't pretend to know everything. But conversations like this, I think, are going to be can maybe help move things.
They're important. These conversations are imperative. They are so important that we have these conversations and we understand each other. We come to an understanding. I just think understanding will take us and propel us into a entirely new world. And we're, like I said, we're equipped. We're all equipped for this. You're equipped for it. I'm equipped for it. Wes is. And that's why we're doing this. I'm glad we did this. That's why we're doing this. We're doing this to show you that we can have these conversations back and forth. We can have moments of understanding. We're all equipped for this. We can do it. So I'm really glad we did this. I'm blessed to know you as a friend. I'm blessed to know you as a person. And I pray that this just sparks the next flame. You know what I mean?
I love you, dude.
Love you too, man. For real. Love you, bro.
So let me know. Let's have a combo.
Let's talk it up, baby.
Sweet.
Cool, man.